We're building a camper plane. We're taking van life to plane life. For the last 2.5 weeks, we've been traveling all over Europe with Aaron's parents, and we had so much fun. We had a long travel day back yesterday to get back here to Fairview, Oklahoma, to Bear Hawk, where we're building our plane. And the guys here have done so much. Looking through all that they've done, the wings are almost done, the fabric's almost done on all of our flight control surfaces. We are cruising ahead. I think the paint samples are gonna be here in the next day or two. So today, Aaron and I are hopefully going to be finishing the fabric on all of our flight control surfaces. But anyway, we back. No way.
Oh my gosh.
That is a plane.
John, she's a beaut. Holy crap. What did you do while we were gone, Peter?
We got to work.
Ty?
Too early, guys.
You didn't do any tie cam while we were gone.
What in the world? We had you all set up.
I'm sorry, Peter. There's some Peter cam.
So here we are, Bear Hawk International.
What's up, Peter? The only video we've got is the Peter cam. But now there's not any tie cam. Okay.
To double check because I was on. Oh gosh. Take the iron, go to do the edges, and then what? I'm doing like 4 layers of glue after that?
Let's see.
Ty's got a whole long list for us to accomplish.
That's what I finished right before I left, like the really late night, early morning stuff. That's what I all finished. And the glue needed dry. So I'll stretch those first. And then this just needs the double cover. So it just needs that top to go on, just the last layers. Okay, quick side note, guys. So when Aaron and I started looking at this project, we knew a big hurdle of ours would be getting insured. We've been able to actually get some fun time in tailwheel, get our tailwheel endorsements. I've prioritized my education to hopefully help with insurance with like my CFI, my Com Multi recently. But it's still like kind of an unknown because of our time, right? Like I'm 350 hours, I'm a baby pilot. So just before getting out here, I started researching what insurance company might be a good fit for this specific project. And we came across BWI. They only insure aviation related things. You name it, they pretty much insure it in aviation. And I found that they actually have a branch up in Alaska that specifically focuses on Alaskan aviation, which is a lot of backcountry. Being that they're a pretty natural fit in that way, I reached out to them and holy crap, Jackie, Matt, Ali, the whole crew has been phenomenal to work with. Anytime I've needed something, I call Jackie and it is like such fast responses. Either I'll get a text right back or an email. When I finished my CFI, I needed to grab some CFI insurance and I went on their website and truly in less than 5 minutes, I had a quote and I knew exactly how much I'd be paying. So guys, if you don't have insurance or haven't requoted your insurance in a while, we'll leave a link in the description below to take you directly to the online quote page for BWI, where you can get a quote for your plane in less than 5 minutes. Aaron and I are super grateful to BWI for sponsoring this video and being a part of our project, and we really hope that you guys will go check them out. Aaron, apparently our paint samples are over here.
Whoa, I really like this red.
Well, it is crazy to see the paint in person.
We've been so excited to get these paint samples because we're getting to the point in the whole process where we need to start doing some paint. Oh, there's the yellow. And so we're trying to nail down exactly what colors we like. And so AirTech sent some samples. We're getting those solidified. So we got a few different oranges, some reds. Hi, stop recording. But yeah, trying to nail down exactly what paints we want to go with.
Wait. So if this is the yellow, pop that in. So maybe we're picking the second orange here.
It doesn't look that bad, but I think this is a little too, tan. I think we're really close because these colors, I think, look super, super good together. It's got that like warmth and sunset feel. But the one thing that's kind of throwing us a little bit is the base coat. And so I think we're looking at, we got a Dove in the shop now. It does look good, but I'm like, I don't know about it on the whole plane.
Gosh, in paint, it's so hard to visualize for an entire plane.
off of these little paint samples and off of the pictures that we get online.
All right, let's take them outside.
All right, I'll hold the camera.
Want to look at the colors outside?
Paul,
Yeah.
come on. Let's go outside.
All right, Paul, come look at this real quick. I actually feel like I like it better in the sunlight.
Oh, I don't.
You don't?
No, I think it's too cream.
Okay.
I really like the subtle off-white.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember when we were picking whites for our house?
Yeah.
There were a couple whites that were, like, they were white, but they were just, what
Subtly
did they
off.
call it? They called it like a clay or
It was like a toffee one or something.
coffee. Yeah, and those are like these subtle off-whites, and that's what I think I'm going for here. Like this, that's like tan. That's like I got some khaki pants and I plastered them on the plane.
All right, so I think we'll message AirTech and get some more of like the base samples. But everything else I think looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think we got our main stripes.
Yeah, we do. We got our main stripes. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, back to work. Back to doing stretching. Oh my god! I always knew Ty wanted to take me out.
Since my bottom two abs have came in, I feel them all the time.
Wow, Ty's got an 8-pack. Let's go, boys.
Let's go,
No,
ladies. He's
I
still
still have-
single.
Let's go, ladies.
And he's got an 8-pack.
Now,
I ain't tired of rock and rollin'. I ain't tired of rock and rollin'. I'll be dancing till the morning. That old music gets me going. I'm gonna rock it tonight.
From another perspective, it's been nice having John's playing here throughout the whole process so we can kind of look at what we're doing and then see kind of more of a full final product. And we got back today and his is just like, looks night and day different. The wings are on it now. One thing that we're kind of going back and forth on is if we want the stripes on the wings to be on the top and bottom or just the top, no bottom. I'm personally leaning just top, no bottom. I think Paul likes both. Comment below what you'd prefer. When I think of it on the bottom, I'm like, I think it may be a little too much. But just this is just looking from the top, which is like a perspective we don't get to see very often. But like when we do have it in like some photos or videos, it's a freaking really cool perspective.
you did a really good job. That looks really good.
Wow, thank you.
Now take a brush, a 1-inch brush, and go on the perimeter right here, because that's where we're going to right now.
Jordan, meet Ty. Ty, Jordan.
The guy helping. What?
The guy doing
No,
the
the
build.
guy building and fixing your mistakes. Damn.
Why is it that this is always the most interesting thing when I mess something up? Oh, you messed up, camera. I don't know how this happened. This right here ended up not laying down properly. And when it wasn't laid down, I went ahead and glued all this in. So then there's a pucker right here. So there's a bump of fabric. Now we had to use heat to get it down, and the edge, if you look, the edge comes from here and then it comes down in and then back out and then over. And this edge looks really bad. So we got the pucker out, but now it just doesn't look good. Our workaround for it, what Ty's talking about, is we'll create a patch that we'll actually just put over this area. Just a big patch. And we'll just lay a piece of fabric on top of it right here.
There's nothing structurally wrong with what is going on there. It's just going to be a visual thing.
It's just so we don't have to look at a squiggly line on the bottom of our elevator, which is basically on the ground for 30 years, which we'll never really look at, except for like at annual when I'm looking at the bottom of the elevator. But yeah, anyway, so we'll do an aesthetic patch there, which good learning experience, because I'm sure like some other people who just got a new Legend Cub and punches holes in the back of their elevator, you know, I'll probably have to patch it sometime. So this is a good way for me to learn how to patch, right? Sorry, Trent, that sucks.
Okay, so yesterday we didn't get to finish the gear leg, so I think that's what we're starting with today. I got to sand them last night, but had to wait a little bit more for the glue to dry because we came back and it's freaking humid here. So it was taking a little bit longer than usual, but on the double covering today.
Yeah, I need y'all to finish your double cover on this stuff today.
Alright, yeah.
Will do.
I want everything glued, and then you're gonna need to let this dry some after you get it done. So then go start stretching and glue throughing all that. And Aaron, you just need to get yours where you're going to be ready to stretch and sealed by tomorrow.
We had a team meeting earlier this morning where Virgil and Mackenzie kind of did a little wake-up call to all of us about how Osh is like around the corner.
60 days out.
And we got to get this thing done in like 60 days.
All right, team meeting.
Oh no, who are we firing?
So here's the situation. To make Oshkosh with this airplane, we need 0 hiccups.
And they were like, it's doable, but now is like go time. And it's now go time is like late nights. So I think the mood kind of shifted right after that talk. So I think we're all just kind of buckled down, getting it done.
Always start with your straight side. Doesn't matter what part, there's going to be one side that's straighter than the other. Do the straight side first. Now you're gonna jump to the other side and you're gonna tack in this other side, and then we'll do the center. Tack your edge where your edge goes. Look ahead and you won't have the problems Paul does.
Bro, I'm standing right here.
I would have pinked this.
Oh, do you want me to do that? Sorry. I don't know why
I'm gonna need you to stop apologizing.
Okay.
You make me feel nervous when you keep saying sorry.
Sorry.
Getting close to the end of fabricking, and we have maybe today and tomorrow, we're getting really, really close. Anyway, now we're at the point where we're finishing up. We're just putting final touches on to make the things look pretty. We are doing something that isn't done super often in fabric. We're doing what's called a double cover. Normal fabric, or most fabric, is single covered, put one cover of fabric on, and then you put what they call tape, it's really just more fabric, over every single rib or any place that needs some reinforcement. And so you'll have these like tape lines in all of your fabric. Well, Bearhawk started doing this thing called double covering. Instead of using these tapes, they just cover the entire thing one more time in fabric. So we don't need tapes, so we don't have those tape lines. In double cover, we have some corners that kind of look unfinished because of how the full cover lays. And so we're going to cut these little extra pieces in order to make it look pretty. So that's what I'm gonna be doing now today, is making all these things look pretty.
Zena was right next to us in our booth at Oshkosh, and it sucked having to walk through them, looking at them ugly ass seagull-looking airplanes.
She's almost done, and then she's ready for paint. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
It's funny, going from the soldering iron heat to 260. 260 feels like nothing.
How did you know what that was called? Seriously, how'd you remember that?
Not heated screwdriver?
Yeah, I know, we've been calling it.
I don't know, I just remembered once Paul burned himself, it's been burned into my memory.
I'm so proud.
A few weeks ago, I started working on the Skylight, and it's time for me to actually get back to it. I ended up marking all the spots to drill the holes in order to actually like put the glass on, or the plexi. After they've worked on a couple more planes, they've actually decided that we don't need the spacing that I did. We can space it out a bit more. So I'm gonna remark the spots so we have less holes to drill and less screws up there in the end. So it'll be a lot easier and a lot better to place. today we're cranking. We have almost all of the tail feathers covered. That's like our elevator, horizontals, all that stuff. We have our second covering almost completely done with those. I just drilled through the skylight. We have a little bit more drilling to do on the skylight. And then now I'm just tidying up some of the tail feathers and like adding in these little patches. But we're getting really, really close on a lot of things to check off today. This is a good freaking day.
How's it going for you?
That's, yeah. I don't know why this corner is like so hard. Ty looked at me and was, when I did my first cut, and was like, bro, because I didn't cut it in pinks. I cut it with just regular shears, which is like a typical no-go. When have we ever cut things with regular shears? But for some reason, Aaron thought it was a brilliant idea. Anyway, I had to redo that one immediately.
You got it this time though.
I was telling him earlier, I was like, it's so funny because Aaron confidently does stuff wrong. And like, Paul, he knows he's doing it wrong.
On purpose?
I know.
Oh, okay. I wasn't confidently like, damn, let's destroy it.
No. And then Paul's like real timid about it because he knows he's doing it wrong, but he's just not quite sure when to say something.
Aaron's just like,
Yeah, she just like,
look what I did.
yeah.
Doesn't it look great?
Yeah, it's funny. Not for me since I fixed everything, but it's pretty funny.
One thing that we are really trying to be cognizant of in the build out of the back is we want things to be able to kind of hold their own. The L-track we're installing is going to be structural, so we can tie into a very like rigid L-track. Right. Yeah, I'm totally open to ideas as well. Like, so if you guys have any ideas, you're like, hey, we could tie this in or something, and you get inspiration, please let us know because we're all ears. Well, I just got off the phone with ADV Mobile. They're this awesome camper van company. We're talking with them specifically to help us build out the back. It's something that I think we could do, but we're on a pretty tight time crunch on this project, so we're needing some help, and they are amazing at what they do. When you look at their builds, they're so custom, modular, and beautiful. They do really, really amazing work. They have a lot of expertise with L-track in the back of their builds. And that's something that we're doing a lot with here is we're trying to make the back of our plane very modular. So we're using L-track, and because of their expertise with this, I think it's a perfect fit. So we're in the talks with them helping us out with the back, maybe helping us with the kitchen and everything and getting it all sorted and making it all work for our plane. So probably a bit more coming on that one. We'll see if that all works out, but really excited to potentially work with them.
Sorry, I was talking to Mackenzie. It's all my fault.
I know. You blabbermouth.
I'm gonna do this flap today, this flap first, and then we'll start on the first cover of that flap. Buddy's telling me what to do on this guy.
Can I do this one? This seems less intimidating than starting from scratch.
So you know what you're gonna do?
Yeah, I'm gonna take some of the slack out, so I'm gonna do some of the ironing and then glue the ribs first. And then I'm gonna come back to you because I'm only gonna take a few steps at a time.
Yep.
Right.
Team break.
Oh, these ripples are not from the metal. That's from you.
And what was I doing? Because I was going over the rib.
You were probably just pushing down too hard on top of the rib.
I'm fired from fabric now too, Virgil.
We're running out of things, guys.
I know.
I should have came and looked at what you were talking about instead of just saying, hey, is it the metal? Yeah. Okay, that's what it's supposed to look like.
About this whole, Erin's confident when she's doing it.
Yeah, you were so confident that I was like, oh, well, it must be the metal.
You know, you think it's an easy task, and then I find a way to screw it up.
Paul does too, don't feel bad.
Okay.
Miss Flamingo.
So this flap I have getting pretty close to being the first layer being complete. But this end here, you have to do a bunch of cuts in order to make it look good because it doesn't shrink down apparently. Like, we've shrunk down a ton on our elevators, our rudder, but it's, I don't know why, but it's able to do it more. Maybe there's more of an aggressive curve or something. So Ty does this really cool thing where it looks like this at the end, and I don't know how to do that. So I'm like waiting on Ty to help me with that. And in the meantime, I'm gonna finish my other gear leg. Oh my gosh, I almost did that wrong.
You almost triple covered that side.
Did I do an inlay here already?
Yeah.
The inlay is done, so I need to cover this side.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Good catch, Paul. Good catch.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad I caught it then.
That could have been bad.
At this late stage in the game, we can't have these mistakes. Ooh,
No.
Man, that could have been spicy. I just make it really.
Later on in the night, when the crowds have gone, we could talk under moonlight till dawn. We could stay to watch the sunrise. Cancel all our plans.
All right, it is 8 a.m. right now. We have 1 hour until Aaron and I head out to Airworks in Bruton, Alabama. Aaron and I are going to be headed out there for the next few days because they have our engine, they've torn it all apart, and then we get to see their whole process and put it back together. We're really excited to see that. They did find a few things in the engine, so I'll be interested to hear exactly what they found and how they're fixing it, see their whole process, and then actually get my hands dirty because I've never seen the guts of the engine before. I've seen like some on YouTube and stuff, but never tangible, so that'll be really interesting. And to see our engine specifically is fascinating to me. So that's this next week, but we have 1 hour now until we have to head out to the airport. In this next hour, I need to try to finish up this gear leg, and then I don't even know what Erin's working on, but we have so much going on. I think she's doing some editing. That being said though, we will see you guys next week in Bruton, Alabama.
Won't you stay with me for a little while? Stay in this moment, never think about going. Won't you stay with me for a little while?
So they went a little cream with the cream.
Yeah, like, it's just not wide enough for us.
No, it's not. All right, whoever's watching, this is the new addition to the Bearhawk family. He starts Monday.
Right now. That's right.
I haven't said anything, and they're just making their opinions about what I believe.
I think she's confused as to what we're talking about. Right?
No, I'm not. Y'all just had your own conversation about what I believe without actually letting me say what I believe.
Well, you weren't going to tell us the
Toby's
truth.
like, you agree? And then Ty's like, no, she just feels cornered. That's why she doesn't believe that. And I'm like, I haven't even said anything.
Toby, you just letting this happen over here?
No, Toby was instigating it. Toby's an instigator.
Toby!
Put another tall challenge down in the books.
Aaron burp compilation at the end of this build
It's
instead of
gonna
a
be
tie
one,
burp.
and then Ty's just gonna be like,
Maybe I'm wrong blaming all my soreness on Topgolf, but that's the only thing that I can
we
think
need to
of.
go to the gym if your soreness is from Topgolf.
My hammy is sore. Be from bending over and putting the ball on the tee, I guess. And then my neck is the only other thing that's sore.
Oh, Bearhawk America, right? Bearhawk America!